Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today I was going through this Framer gallery of amazing sites that have been built on Framer, and I found one called Biograph, and it's from a longevity clinic, and I thought that was pretty interesting, so I started scrolling down, and I really liked the cleanliness of this particular website. The transitions, the animations, how it felt on scroll was just a really nice, user experience for myself. And as you can scroll down, you can see that it's such a nice, uh, such a beautiful website, I have to say. And they have really nice images. I guess they worked with a professional photographer, obviously, in their different locations for their website. They put a lot of work into not only photography, but also 3D models just like this. And another thing that I really like is some of their, in their bento grid, some of their graphics, like this one here on the left. Right? They also have these really nice transitions from dark to white, really nice hover effects for the logos. They put a lot of work into this, and this is something that I consider a top-notch, top 1% Framer site. And at the end of their page, this beautiful footer that combines with the image from the call to action section. So this is one of the best sites I've seen on Framer. So shout out to whoever built this. You guys did a really good job. So anyways, scrolling back up, I want to try to build this. I want to try to build this Biograph transforms lives, and then these cards kind of scroll up and cover that text. And then another text pops up underneath. So that's exactly what I'm trying to build. We're going to have like these image cards in this particular order, just like they do. We're going to have this one has text and this image here, and then more text here. And then this is going to kind of overlap this text, which is going to stay kind of fixed to the screen, right? So it's going to stay fixed to the screen like this. And then comes this new text. So yeah, if this is something interesting for you guys, let's go ahead and get started with this build. So we could go ahead and open Framer. I'm just going to add the other breakpoints because if you've seen my other videos, you know that I like to build everything responsively. So we're going to do that. Let's just take a little screenshot of this. So let me move my camera. Actually, my camera's here. Take a screenshot of this, bring it into Framer, place it over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this color picker tool, and boom. So we're going to have this nice grayish color as a background instead of the white. So that's for starters. Now what we want to do next is go back to Chrome, and we want to kind of see we have 3 cards over here. They're all going to have like some type of fixed height. So let's just keep that in mind. And then we're going to have another text. So this text seems to be about 50 pixels in size-ish. So let me just double check that. If it's possible. Yeah, something like 50 pixels. And let me just refresh this page and go back to the section where it is. Here you go. So let's do that. Let's Biograph transforms live. So Biograph transforms lives. We can just remove this T and center this to be something like this. And I really like this font. It's a paid font, so I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use the SF Pro Display font for in this case. We're going to increase the height to 50, and we're going to get this selection, and we're going to put our color picker like this. We're going to decrease the line height a little bit. Maybe something like this is fine. And we're going to put this in the smack in the middle. And now what we want to think about is this other section here. So I'm going to just take a like screenshot of this whole thing, and we don't really need the exact design. We just need kind of an idea of what we're going to be building in the screenshot. We'll do this. We're going to minimize this, put this underneath, like so. Boom. And then once we have that, we can start adding these different sections. So basically, if we go back here, we're going to have, I would say, one stack, and with different scroll speeds. One stack with 3 stacks inside of them, and with different scroll speeds. So let's do it like that, and it's going to be like a fill width. So what we're going to do is we're going to open Framer. We're going to make this into its own stack. This is going to be called the heading, and this is going to be set to fit content. Right. For this, we can make it a little bit smaller, maybe about 36 pixels. Perfect. And now we're going to have to duplicate this, and we're going to delete this text, but we're going to keep this as the cards stack. And the card stack is going to have a padding on the right and left, about 20. I would say top and bottom too. Well, top no, actually, and I'm going to tell you why when the time comes. But basically here there's going to be different sections, so we're going to have to build like a little dummy card, right? We're going to make this a gray color just so that we can see how this is going to look like. And let's put it in here. Let's duplicate this so it's 2. And then we have a stack here going downwards. And then let's just duplicate this 3 more times, and in the middle one we're going to need 3. So it's going to look something like this, right? Let's actually choose this color but a little bit darker. There we go. And now for each one of these we would want the stack to be set to fill. So let's set everything to fill. So we have this nice consistent alignment everywhere, and there's not such a big space everywhere. Now, the gap seems to be 10 pixels. We can increase it to 20, and we can increase the gap here to 20. And I would say that we increase the padding on the right and left a little bit more. Maybe like 40 pixels. And then we can open all of these stacks, or we can just do it visually and adjust the height to be higher. We can, instead of 366, we can put 400 pixels or 500 pixels, if that seems to be the case. I think 500 pixels seems to be good. And now we can start doing interesting things. Well, let's first, for this heading, let's do something. Let's add a padding on the top of 120 and the bottom of 120. We want to remove this gap of the overall screen. We want to give this a fill that is similar to the background. And then we're going to make this specific heading. So I'm thinking either we make it fixed to the desktop, which I don't think is the best way of doing it, or we can, or something like that. I don't think fixed is the right way. I think the best way would be to add a type of scroll speed and set it to maybe 0 and give this card a z-index higher than this z-index, which should be something like 0. So that means that it would go away just like that, you see? So that would be kind of one way of doing it. We can add even more padding on the top and bottom so that it seems a little bit more like what we had. So something like this. This is looking good. And then what we want to do is we want to just style these different cards. So we go back here. We know that 3 of them are going to be images, and we're going to have these 2 different styles. So this one's going to be style 1, dark. Let's go back to Framer. Let's paste it. And then we're going to have style 2, which is going to be light. It's going to look like this. And let's just take a screenshot and go back to Framer and paste it. Boom. So we got these 2 styles. That means that we got to just select one of these frames. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this. So I'm going to put this in. So this frame, it won't be a frame anymore. It's going to be a layout. And what we got to do is we got to, edit the text here. So I'm just going to, I can't copy paste. Okay, so that's no problem. Let's go back to Framer and let's make sure that this stack has a color that's like this. And then we're just going to add a lorem ipsum text by going to our plugins and choosing lorem ipsum, making it 1 sentence, I would say. So apply. And it should work. Here it is. And we gotta set the width to be fill. And let's set the height to be fill as well. And we want this to be smaller, I would say maybe 32 pixels. And let's give the stack a nice padding everywhere of about 20 pixels, I would say. I would even say we can make this 24 pixels. Make this go on the left, not center aligned. And make some of this white and then the rest gray. And then, as you can see, so this is stack. This is one stack. This is going to be the stack on the top. So this is going to be text. And then we're going to have to add another thing on the bottom, which will be this. And this will consist of a little image, like rectangular image. Let's just replace this with a image thing, image box, image container, whatever you want to call it. And let's call this footer, right? So we have the image, and then we have 2 texts. We have let's put John 48, and let's make this. Let's duplicate this, and let's add this to another stack that's going to go downwards. And this has to be much smaller. This would be, I would say, around 16 pixels. Yeah, and this one as well, 16 pixels. And this stack has to kind of be 0. And each one of these has to be fit content. And now we can adjust this stack to be height fill and a smaller gap like this. And let's make sure that everything is top aligned. There we go. And we can get this, make sure that it's this gray color style. And what does it say over here? Let's put premium membership. So that's card 1, right? And let's maybe add some type of image here. We can go to plugins, Lumi, and pick some nice, let's search for something white maybe, something like this, and give it some radius. This would be good. And this overall footer should have a top padding of around 20, and it should have a border that is the color of this gray text. And the border has to be just at the top. So we're gonna delete these other ones, and we're gonna actually edit the color to be about 50% of what it is. Perfect. And now we have this. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this is space between, and boom, it's looking like it's supposed to look like. We can even make this a little bit smaller, something like this. This can be even 12 pixels. This can be smaller. Right. And then boom, we have something nice, looking good. All right, so we got this dark, so let's call it dark stack. And then we need something light, so we're just gonna copy paste. So this is gonna be called the light stack. Light stack. And instead of this being this gray color, we can just use our color picker and choose this white. And here it will be the black instead of the white. So we can just choose this black, and same here, choose this black, and we have here like this very subtle border. So let's even decrease that to be something like 20 pixels, 20%, sorry. And then let's get these have like a nice little radius. So let's add that to be something like so. I want to go back to Chrome and see if they have a shadow. I think they do, yeah. So let's add some type of nice little shadow. I would say we can add some type of realistic shadow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start replacing this everywhere. So we want to actually see how this would be. So we need white, dark, dark, and white. And then we need an image one. So let's do an image one as well. So all we got to do is go back to Framer. This is going to be the easiest one, by the way. We delete everything inside of it, and then we just replace the background with an image. So this would be like let's put something like oh, sorry, not this. We're gonna use our plugin and put something like surf. This one looks cool. It's like a blur. And the image is added. So now what we have is, so we can start replacing everything. So this is going to be image, light stack, and then this will be dark, image, dark. So this is the screenshot. Let's not use a screenshot. Let's use this one. So dark, image, and let's just duplicate this and bring this under this one and delete this. So it's starting to look more realistic. By the way, we should replace this with image stack, and just to make everything, more organized. Image stack. So here we need an image stack as well. Remove this. We need the light stack as well. And boom, we got that looking good. We just have to replace certain things. So let's replace this with something else. By the way, in the phone, it's not looking so good, but let's get to that when that comes. I'm actually interested in seeing how that would look like in the phone in the current website. So let's put something like running. Like this. And then let's put something like swimming. So we can do something that kind of matches that, or is it something? Swimming blur. Let's see if they have something blur. This one looks good. Like this blur effect. All right, so we got these three images. Text doesn't really matter. And now if we were to press play, it kind of happens already that, this first part, but now we have to see with the images, how can we animate them so that they have this cool little animation, right? So this is going to have like a faster scroll, and this one's going to have a normal scroll. So I think it's as simple as that. So I think we just have to name each one. So left, middle, right. And the middle one is going to have a faster scroll effect, scroll speed. So let's just try with 110. Okay. So I guess it is working. But we have this cut here, and we don't want that. And in order to do that, we can set this effect. So we can remove this effect. We can set this effect to this. So if I were to put scroll effects, scroll speeds, I can make it maybe even a little bit faster and set these to be 15% less. So the left and right. So right can be scroll speed 85%, and the left can have the same effect. So scroll speed 85%. And let's see how this looks like. There, we got this nice little effect going on, and it's looking good, actually. It's looking real cool. So now let's see how this looks like in the phone version. I'm interested to see how this looks like in the phone. I think in the phone we don't really have. Okay, so in the phone it's more of a carousel without any images, so it's a completely different structure. So in this case, I'm not really going to do that. If you want to do it like that with your, in your own project, you can recreate a specific type of structure. So that's no problem. But in my case, I'm just going to go ahead and fix a few things. So I'm going to make this width to fill, and same with these, so that it goes on to the other sizes. And then I'm just going to adjust the structure of the tablet. So for the tablet, we're going to be more like cards like this. Or we can have a type of grid, for example. And in this grid, we can, adjust the right ones to be in the middle. If it's possible, I have to see if, no, okay. That would be one option. So instead of, you would have to basically duplicate this and unlink it with this. So that would be one way of doing it. If not, you can just set it up like this and make it all like different cards. You can, for example, delete the images, and I can delete these images, for example, from here. And for example, we can make these sizes smaller, right? And maybe making them, no, something like this. And same here, we'll just say making these size smaller to a specific size that you find comfortable with. And boom. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. It was pretty cool to make a very interesting little build with different types of scroll animations. Again, if you want to download this particular file, you can do that in the link in the description. I have the remix link for you guys. And I hope you learned something today. This was a quick little build, something very simple but very cool. And wish you guys have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.